struggled with that for some time. And on May 9th, council did approve a abandoned building fee ordinance that, you know, we're hopeful that will remove the chokehold that we've got on some of these buildings and move us forward to being able to revitalize them and become a vibrant downtown again. Benny Jenwright is our City of Dillon Code Enforcement Director. I'm just going to give it to him and let him talk. And after that, we'll get into We Shop South Carolina. It's an e-commerce website or e-commerce.
Everyone knows, and we have a lot of functions at the City of Dillon with code enforcement. But tonight, I'm here to actually been invited by Lisa to talk about vacant buildings on Main Street. And if you got any questions, any comments, you can just raise your hand at any time and I'll stop and I'll try to answer the best way I can. If I don't know, I can find out. And I always tell other people, I don't know everything, I just know a lot of things. Okay, with that being said, as you notice on Main Street, we have a lot of vacant buildings. And the City Council, as Lisa read earlier about the ordinance, had passed an ordinance that everyone that has a vacant building on Main Street must register the building. And not just only Main Street, but citywide. And the reason why we're doing that, we're trying to provide maintenance for the building for our downtown. We have a lot of people in the right positions to actually make the City of Dillon an all-American city. We have a lot of expertise with Lisa coming aboard, and I'm kind of Lisa's muscles, per se. But I'll start off by saying this, is that we're making some improvements for our downtown area and for the City of Dillon as a whole. We had sent certified letters to at least 44 different property owners that have vacant buildings within the City of Dillon. And we have at least 15 owners that had registered their buildings with the City of Dillon. And what registering means is that they would have to pay a fee in order to allow the building to remain vacant. The fee for the first year is $200 plus a $50 inspection fee. The reason for that is for the city to work with the property owners and to help them to try to find out why these buildings are vacant and no one is occupying them and they're actually beginning to deteriorate. And we're trying to keep them out of the deterioration stage. A lot of these buildings have minor problems, mostly roofs are leaking, things of that nature. So the city wants to reach out to the property owners and let them know that we're here to actually help you. But we want the property owners to come to us and register their buildings, let us take a look at it, and we'll actually do like what we call a punch list. We'll walk through with my inspectors and we'll point out things that's actually in violation of building codes. I always tell my inspectors that we don't want to cause the property owner to spend more money than what they have to, only to make the building safe. And it's only fair to the public and to the occupant of those buildings. With that being said, we have an ordinance that the owner would have to register the building. As I said before, the first year is $250. Second year, if the building remains vacant, it's also, it goes up to, I think, $500. And it's $550. And then the third year is $550. Fourth year is $1,050. Fifth year is also, I think it's $1,050. Now, with all that being said, what we'll do, whenever they register the building, I'll send out a certified letter, And within the letter, they'll have 30 days to submit to the city a plan for their building. We're not saying that the building has to be in compliance in 30 days. We just want to know what are your future plans with this building. And the building will be submitted to the city. The city has three options. We can either accept the plans as submitted, we can amend the plans, or we can revoke the plans altogether. We have three different classifications that we will classify the buildings in. One is being severe, meaning that the building is in the state of collapsing or in the state of disrepair. It's unsafe for the occupants, it's unsafe for the public. We have class number 2, which is severe. Severe means that there's miscellaneous stuff that's wrong with the building, bricks falling off. We had a building on Main Street by what's Rick's building? Ace Hardware on Main Street. There used to be a building beside Ace Hardware where the bricks was falling off and pedestrians were walking down the sidewalk. Y'all remember that? And we got a lot of complaints. And being that it had been brought to our attention, the city had to react in some kind of way. So we talked to the property owner, and the property owner agreed to have the building demolished and remove the unsafe structure. Some buildings can be saved, others cannot. We just demolished a building on Highway 301 and Main Street just recently. That building has been in condemnation stage, I want to say probably several years. They were repaired. They repaired windows and then they were stopped. They will repair another item, stop. And it went on like that, and every time they stopped, another part of the building just kept deteriorating. And it got to the place where it became unsafe. And one of our city employees, I was talking to the city council, and I was letting them know that there's something we got to do with this building before it actually collapses and falls on the sidewalk and hurts someone. One of our city employees had in Myrtle Beach, the town of Myrtle Beach, they had a building just like the one we just torn down. It was in the broad daylight, sun shining. There was no storms, no hurricanes or anything, no winds blowing. And they just happened to be recording in Myrtle Beach. And there was a mother that was pushing her baby in front of this building. Sun shining, mind you, no storms, no nothing. All of a sudden, in the background, the whole building collapsed. And they caught that right on camera and showed it to me. And so the first thing I thought about was that building, because there's a lot of pedestrians that walk on that sidewalk. And we knew that the building was collapsing. The roof fell on the inside of the building. So it was a matter of time before the walls would fall. Every time there was a hurricane, I would get afraid that the wind is just going to blow it down. So eventually, those type buildings, we rather, if we can, save the buildings, especially on Main Street. But sometimes there's going to be situations where we just can't save them. If you got any questions, I don't want to bore you to death. I know you got other things going on.
Benny, how about focus on, if you would, the fees that are associated with if they don't comply? That was a big topic this morning about the fee structure and how it builds every day.
Okay.
That's really kind of the meat of this.
Okay. If the owners refuse to comply with the city ordinance, the penalty would be, there's a $500 penalty, administration penalty, in addition to all the aforementioned fees that I already mentioned. To the registration fee, to the inspection fee, there will be a $500 administration fee attached to it. Or the city can choose to use eminent domain. And what eminent domain means is a takings. We would take the building. And we would try to renovate it and do what we have to do with it. We don't want buildings. The city's not in the we're not in the business of attaining buildings and real estate and stuff of that nature. But the city does have grants that we actually can offer the property owners to take advantage of. But however, sometimes we always have at least one or two that just not going to comply. I don't care how much you smile, how much you talk nice, they're just not going to comply with the ordinance. Let's say if a property owner failed to comply with the ordinance the first year. As I said before, first year is $200 registration fee, $50 inspection fee. Okay. I will send out a second certified letter saying that you failed to comply. You have 11 days to register your building. Okay, it's like another courtesy letter. If they fail to register within that 11-day time period, that's when I would go pay them a visit. We will have to write uniform ordinance summons. And what a uniform ordinance summons is basically like a letter saying, come to court. You're subject to a $500 fine plus, and in addition to that, $572.50 court costs. So actually a ticket would amount to $1,072.50. In addition to your fines, it doesn't waive your fines if you pay the fine in the court. The court fine does not waive your registration fine and the administration. So in essence, if somebody failed to register their building, they'll have $200 registration fee, $50 permit fee, and then they're looking on top of that $1,072.50 per day. I can write them per day. Yes. All the way up to court day. Yeah. And those are the penalties, those are the fines for the individuals that just refuse to comply. But as I said earlier, we're a friendly city. We'd rather you come in and talk to us. If you're talking to us, then you're assuring us that in good faith, you want to save your building. I have property owners that comes to me and say, well, Ben, I just don't have the money to renovate my building back to building code. And then I'll tell them a lot of times is, well, do cosmetic type things. Paint your building. Fix your windows, or replace your windows. Place your doors. Get a contractor, these bricks that's falling, your vinyl siding that's falling off. You got wood in your windows. I mean, do little things. And as long as you're showing good faith, we would not write tickets and things of that nature. Because you're trying to come in compliance with the ordinance. But it's just that when we don't hear anything from you, it just sends a negative response to us. When I say us, to the city, when we're sending you a certified letter, we're giving you at least 6 to 7 months to register your building. And then we do another courtesy letter of another 11 days. And you still just failed to register. So we're trying to revive our main street. And in order to do that, like I said, the buildings just not on Main Street, but city-wise. When we have developers come to the city, yes, they come and look at our buildings on Main Street, but that's not where they stop. They go into the neighborhoods. They ride in the neighborhoods. They want to see how the neighborhoods look. They're looking for certain, how the houses are being kept, how the yards, the premises, and things like that are being kept. What we call it junk motor vehicles, cars just sitting there, no tires, and clothes in them, and things of that nature, high grass, stuff like that. So all those are things that developers, when they come and see me and talk and offer to me, those are things that they're looking at, in addition to the golf course and other things that, schools and things of that nature.
Benny, you said that if they don't, you send them a second courtesy letter, that gives them 11 days.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't respond, then you go out to see them,
That's correct.
if they're local.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
All right. Say for instance, number one, you don't find them at home or they're not local.
Mhm.
You're not able to present them with that summons, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
and they still don't respond.
Well, if they're living in the state of South Carolina, I can contact the sheriff department in the county that they're residing in and tell them they're in violation of our ordinance. Could you please serve this on our behalf? And that has been working for me with the city of Dillon.
Okay.
Matter of fact, let me know when I go over my time.
No, you're fine, no, you're
I'm
good.
trying to keep it. You can ask the morning crowd. I was here this morning for a whole hour, and I was supposed to be 15 minutes, so I'm trying to dance around. And I get excited with this stuff. I get to it.
Touch base on the contract.
Okay. But to answer your question, I had a property owner in Dillon, real life situation. And he basically said what you're saying. He said, well, I live in Columbia. Benny, your ordinance summons is no good in Columbia. You're with the city of Dillon. Give it your best shot. And I said, no, don't. I said, come on, and I'm begging, pleading. He was just, no, yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to comply. I said, okay. So I had a meeting down in Myrtle Beach, and I was telling the individuals that were here this morning, had a meeting in Myrtle Beach. The chief deputy in the county where he resides is from Dillon. And I said, I'm going to send you a notice, and if you can serve this way, he said, sure, Benny, I'll be glad to do it. So I was down at the beach in another conference, and all of a sudden my phone ringing. And he stopped answering my phone calls, and all of a sudden I looked, and it's him. And I thought to myself, okay, he's getting served. I'll get it later. So I said, he kept calling, I said, okay, let me go ahead and answer it. So I answered. He said, Benny, he said, am I going to jail? I said, what's going on? He says, he said, the whole sheriff department is here. What are they doing? I didn't want to read it. Oh, I forgot, I'm good.
Then you talk about the contract out, how you contracted out, because your code enforcement officer had retired and going outside of the city.
Let me finish
Okay,
answering
okay.
that for you. And I thank you for pulling me in.
Yes,
I get carried away sometimes. But anyway, to answer your question, if they're in the state of South Carolina, we can have our summons issued. Any place in the state of South Carolina. Across state lines, it's going to be, I don't know legally if we can do that. There might be other ways we might have to try to handle that. If they still refuse, we still have the eminent domain.
Well, that was going to be my question, if they just absolutely refuse, or even when they go to court and they have court costs and the fines and all that kind of stuff, if they refuse to pay it, what's the truth behind that? What's going to happen when they don't do what they're supposed to? I mean, we all know what we're supposed to do. We all know that if you get a ticket, you're supposed to pay it or whatever. So that's what I'm asking. If they just don't do it, what's the teeth behind this?
The eminent domain.
Eminent domain.
That would be the teeth.
Okay.
Yes.
And at what point, what's the cap? Where's the line where you say, okay, we're going to enforce it?
Good question. Usually what we do, we write 2 municipal ordinance summons. On the third one, the violation is not just fees. The violation is fees plus 30 days in jail. And so actually on that third one, we will remind them when they're in court that, the next time you come the third time, the consequences can be 30 days in jail. So therefore, if they choose not to pay it that third time, that's a good possibility that's what could happen.
Jail and $1,000.
Yes, it does not omit the fees. The fees are still required.
Like $1,200, $1,300 in the fees plus 30 days in jail.
Yeah, and usually I would write about 3 ordinance summons right up to court day. So that would actually be all those fees. We say $250 plus $500, $750 plus what was it? 2017. So you're looking at probably about $1,800 per ticket. Now the judge has the last say so. He can reduce my fees down to $100, that's his call. But I would write the fines up to the maximum amount, and then the judge would decide.
Is that magistrate?
Sir,
Magistrate judge?
city judge.
In between the summons, what's the time frame in between each time that you serve?
There's no time frame. I can do it anytime. It's just, I'll write them one per day. They could be consecutive 3 days, or I can just spread it out 5 days. Normally when I write the ordinance summons, I'll write it like 10 or 15 days in advance of the court. And why I do that so that they can have the right to get an attorney if they choose to do so. But our ordinance, I try to be fair, but our ordinance, the state governing body give us the authority to write these type ordinances. And as long as we're being fair across the board to everyone, then we actually will be okay.
I saw some notice in the paper recently that I guess was submitted by you all in the legal notices anyway, about some of these properties that had not been, were not kept up, or I don't remember how the phrasing was in there. Is that part of the same ordinance situation?
It's a different ordinance, but the same concept. Those ordinances are for unsafe structures. And basically a lot of the unsafe structures are vacant. And we have a lot of unsafe structures throughout the city, but those particular advertisement was for demolitions.
Okay.
And the demolition works a little different. If, for instance, and I'll just give you a quick view of that. I'll try to. Actually, I have a staff that goes right around town and they identify unsafe structures. And what we do, we'll start, actually go to tax assessors, find out who the owners of these properties are, send a certified letter. They have 60 days to comply, and comply means to get a contractor and renovate it so it can be used as a residential structure and people can live in it. If they refuse to do that or refuse to appeal my decision about the structure being unsafe, then I advertise it 3 weeks in the newspaper, and that's what you saw.
Okay.
And then after 3 weeks, then the city, we'll check again to make sure that that owner is still the owner of that property. A lot of times they'll sell their property to their sister, to their brother, and when that happens, the process has to start over.
And then sell it again.
Yeah.
Sell it again.
Well, they run our brothers and sisters after a while. But once that happens, then the city would go and demolish the buildings.
And would the property where the building sat, would that still belong to them, or would that
It would.
belong to the city?
The property would still belong to them. And what we'll do, once we demolish the building, because it brings to the landfill, we'll actually bill the owner. And the owner has 30 days to pay. If they refuse to pay or decide they're just not going to pay, they're not going to call and set up any kind of arrangements, anything like that, then what we do is put it as a lien against the property. And whenever the owner goes to pay the property taxes, they have to satisfy the lien first. So that way the city gets their money back.
Okay.
So just in a nutshell, keep up with your property.
Pretty
And you
much.
don't have to-
Yeah, and you're right. And if there's a problem, just call us. We're real easy to get along with. Everybody knows me. I try not to smile all the time. And honestly, we do try to work with everybody, no matter what the situation is. And a lot of times I can understand if the property owners, they're a little afraid of government officials. But we're actually here to help you. We work for y'all. That's what I tell my staff. So I try to treat everybody that's on the opposite side of the table the same way I want to be treated. Things that they don't ask me, I voluntarily give them information. And I just don't do it verbally. I give it to them in writing. I make copies, I highlight things. There's some business owners here at the table, they'll tell you, that's how I do it. I always do that. I got one already.
Did you talk about how you're going to enforce this with the third-party contractors?
Okay, yeah. Okay. Third-party contractors, okay. My inspector that we had for the city of Dillon retired, Arthur Jackson, a lot of y'all probably knew him, back in September. Okay. And we now have contracted with a third-party contractor, inspectors. And they're real easy. They basically do anything the city asks them to do when it comes down to buildings. Now, what we'll do with this unsafe vacant buildings, let's say if we do have, there's probably, like I said, I got 14 owners that registered their buildings. And I got other owners are calling me, telling me that they're selling their paperwork. So, for the most part, everybody is actually working with the city, which is good. Okay. Once they register the building, probably within the next 2 months, the inspector and myself will walk through the building and we will actually point out violations, things that actually needs to be fixed for the building to be in compliance with the city ordinance. It'll be like a punch list type thing that we would do. We would give it to them in writing, we'll sign it, the property owner will sign it, and we won't leave there until the property owner feel confident that they asked us every question they can possibly ask you. And sometimes you can't ask everything, but we tell them that anything that they hadn't thought about asking us, if they want to call us later, we leave our telephone numbers with them. But I guess that's answering your question, Lisa, with the inspection part.
I think that's going to be truly important to this process, is having someone that will be able to fulfill the inspections without influence.
That's right. Now, and some things, or we could actually bring the building into compliance without building plans. Some things would be miscellaneous stuff. Other things we're going to have to require architect or engineer drawings. Some things are just written and read and we just can't run. It depends on how bad a shape the building is. Depending on what the owner plans on to do, doing with the building. Let's say, for instance, if they wanted to have residential units upstairs and business is on the first floor, well, we have to require fire sprinkler plans. There's no way around that. The state fire marshals require that. And so there's some things that we can actually do to help the property owners, and there's just some things we just can't do.
What about some of these that are, some of these buildings that are empty that have health hazards in them? You know, like asbestos, for one thing.
You're not talking about my mice, are you?
That has to be don't go there with me. And we've got one in town that's loaded with bats.
Oh, yeah.
Bats.
Yeah.
Those-
Had that discussion this
those-
morning.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I wasn't here this morning, so I apologize if I mentioned you to cover the same ground twice. But those are the kind of things, talk to me about these buildings that have hazardous aspects to them.
Yes, ma'am. There's a part of our ordinance that address that as well. Those are health concerns, health situations. And they would fall under the category 3, which is severe violations, which means that they would actually have to submit a plan to us immediately, and within that plan, we need to know what their ideas are to alleviate that problem. But if they, like I said again, they fail to submit to us the plans, then we'll just go through the process. And we have other options that we could do. We can also condemn the building on top of it being vacant. And at the end of 60 days, we can just demolish the whole thing and get rid of it. But we just don't want holes on Main Street. But, if we have no other
But if
choice.
the building's not safe, it's not safe.
That's
either way
right.
you look at it.
That's
Yeah.
correct, because we're here to protect the public.
Now, the interesting
Well,
thing about Benny saying holes in there, you know, our pro tem mayor and some other in council in our downtown development meeting are interested in some of these holes right now because they make nice pass-throughs from Main Street to what we're building back here behind us with the Festival Marketplace, which is really in the process. We're starting to talk to the architects and the engineers like daily about what's going on back there. So some of these buildings that are down here that might have the infestation of the bats might one day become something that we really need. I know DCA is working on one on that side of the street. We need one on this side of the street. So those things are, you know, in the thought process right now.
But with the bats, aren't they like an endangered species? You can't kill
Well,
them?
not necessarily in danger, but they have to be relocated. Toya can tell us all about that.
Oh, God.
They suck them up in these big vacuums and
Yeah.
then relocate them. You can't exterminate
Yeah,
them.
you can't.
But that's expensive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long story short, you know, we had the house on Main Street. I spent over $11,000 doing my attic over because of bats when we bought the house. $11,000.
And you can see them in the little.
And you can see the
something
bats in
in
my
the
yard. They had to do everything over. And we only had the house for maybe 8 months. Yeah.
So it's, you know, Glenn and I were walking back here on Halloween night, the first year that I worked here for the Halloween event, and right as the sun was going down, it was perfect timing. It was like Dawn of the Dead, the bats coming out the building, so we're quite aware of, you know, kind of where they are.
It's very scary, especially when you walk your dogs. It's very, very scary.
And there again, the cost for that
Yeah,
would have to be absorbed theoretically by the property owner.
that's right. You're
In
right.
theory.
That's right.
Yeah,
You're
I don't
absolutely
know.
right.
Yeah, bats are the main controller of the insect population.
Yeah, but they was in my
Oh, they're
attic, and
terrible
I
in
did
that.
not want them coming through. Let's get them out, please.
And that's why this is so important. And bat species right now are struggling so much with white nose disease, and there's a lot of other things that are affecting the bat population. So you don't want to exterminate them, you want to move them.
Yeah.
And I will strongly make sure that whatever they're done here will be protected in fashion, you know.
Oh, trust me, she's like, what's his Ace Ventura? Those bats will have a home by the next month.
We can get rid of a few, but we have some bat houses in my backyard.
Oh, yeah.
We got them all over our yard.
Well, I don't have them no more.
Yeah.
Or can make sure that.
You know, we're at a really great time when we have so many people that are ready to come together to really focus on downtown with the new ordinance in place. Benny and his going outside to get a third party to help with this. You know, it's time to kind of get back into that motion because we've got new businesses that are opening, and we've got buildings that are being looked at to be purchased, some that have been purchased. So it really is happening right now, and it's all just kind of timing, I guess. We're all here together at the same time to get this done, and I think this ordinance is going to be one of the strong points that really will push it.
Yeah.
We're just going to have to buckle down and just do it.
Yeah.
Pay the money.
Mr. Benny, is
Yes,
this,
ma'am.
you're saying the city of Dillon, down 301 North, there's a couple of buildings there, y'all looking at those too?
Yes, ma'am, citywide.
Okay, citywide.
Yes, ma'am.
We get a lot of homeless people hanging out at those buildings, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you're right. We have all our homeless people, and then there's a lot of crimes, and then there's some people that actually sleeping in some of these unsafe buildings. They're trying to escape the storms and things of that nature. Probably about, I'm gonna say, I would guess probably about 20 years or so ago, I got a phone call. There was a house on Lockman Highway, and it was kind of like close to the city limits, and in the county, they couldn't tell which one was which. Well, the sheriff department was called first, and they didn't know if it was in the city or the county, and then the city police got there, and they started to smell something on the inside. Well, they went on the inside, and they found a man on the inside who's been dead, and don't know for how long. Yeah, do you remember that?
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you got that Safeway, that old Safeway store, and there are a lot of people hanging out there and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as safety and everything, it's for them. You know, they put their little tents and their sleeping bags up under the carport part.
Yeah. I know which one, I know that particular one you're speaking of.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people that tried, you know, to try to help. And even the sheriff department, they will actually care and put it up in the motel.
Yeah.
I even had my animal
Yeah.
control to, you know, actually get the dog and actually follow them. And there's been, I think, the Main Street Methodist Church, I think, tried, you know, to do some things there. But a lot of times she would refuse help.
I tried to help her and
Yeah.
wouldn't
Yeah.
do that.
Oh, yeah.
I helped her
Yeah.
too, me and Teresa, we put her up in a hotel for a week
Oh, good.
and gave her food and I fed her dog.
Mm-hmm.
I felt bad, you know, and I gave him a flea collar.
Yeah. Your heart did go out.
Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone today mentioned, why can't you just start tearing down buildings? You know, the ones that need to be demolished, why can't you just go through and just do them all at once? Isn't there a time frame that the city can actually go through it and they can't just do 10 at once? It has to be sectioned out in different times?
We're kind of, I don't want to use the word sanction, but we're kind of like under the mercy of DHEC when it comes to tearing down residential structures. DHEC had placed us under a strict guideline where we can only tear one house down in one block, one house per block per year. Is how they told us. Yeah, but I've been talking to Glenn Wagner, our city manager, and there's some grant funds that's out there that will actually demolish these houses. Matter of fact, that's what I was working on before I came here. A list of condemnation houses, and I have probably about 4 or 5 houses that all in condemnation status, side by side. But if the city was to tear it down, if Burt Rogers was to tear it down, we can only tear down one house per year, per block. If we were to contract it out, or if we would let this grant firm do it, they can demolish all 3 houses all at once. So that's the route that we're going now.
Oh, cool.
So we're trying to make some impact. We're trying to do some things. The pandemic kind of like put us all behind, and I know everybody hate when you say pandemic, but a lot of things just didn't happen during that time.
Because I heard it's about 50 they were targeting in Newtown here, so that's trying to go their route.
That's right. Yeah, because now they got grant money that actually do it. That will help the cities and the counties actually tear them down. And they don't have to worry about that one block per year.
Okay.
Buildings that have already been condemned for quite some time. How is this ordinance, since this was just put into effect in 2022, how does it affect those buildings that have already been condemned? Are they still going to have to follow those guidelines?
Yes, yeah. They will still have to follow the condemnation guidelines, but being that this is a separate ordinance, I could also require them to, like I said, we don't want to tear buildings down, but if we have to, we will. But I would like to also give them the option of registering the building, submitting to us plans to renovate the building back to its original state. That's the main goal. But if that doesn't work, then yes, demolition is the other answer, or eminent domain.
So
Or
they're
maybe
not,
somebody will come and buy it.
well, what I'm asking is they're not sheltered or grandfathered just because it's been condemned
Yeah.
10 years ago and nobody has done anything about it.
Yeah.
This ordinance can still apply to that and make them do something.
Oh, yes. I'll have to go through the same process because the condemnation ordinance is different from the unsafe ordinance. So I'll have to actually send them certified letters and go through the procedures, but you're correct. Yeah. But now we're in the process of tearing down commercial buildings as well. We were focusing on residential buildings for probably the last 5-7 years. But now we're doing all buildings. And for the most part, some buildings are being sold. I was talking to the individuals here this morning. There was a lady from Darlington, And she looked on the internet and saw a house in Dillon that was for sale. So she contacted the property owners, which is in Ohio.
Wow.
The property owners in Ohio said, meet us in Conway. She says, okay. And so she goes to Conway, and they tell her the price, $25,000 for the house. So she goes to Conway, and she agrees. She pays the $25,000. They give her the deed to the house. She comes to Dillon.
That's going bad.
So she's looking at the yellow signs on the house. We put yellow signs on this safe structure. And what are those doing on my house? So she takes them down. And she commits to moving inside the house. But I get phone calls for some of the citizens that somebody's in, I seen somebody in an unsafe house. Anyway, I sent one of my staff members there and told them to come up to the city hall. So she comes up, she said, this is my house. I purchased this house. I said, well, ma'am, did you notice that that house was condemned? I says, why would you buy an unsafe structure? She said, well, I didn't know it was condemned. I said, did you go and look at the house before you purchased it? She said, no. I said, well, you can't occupy that house now. You got to bring the house back up to code if you want to occupy. And so that's an example. Never buy anything online without actually looking at it.
We had
There are a lot of
situation-
people buying property at the beach sight unseen.
Yeah, there. And it's beginning to be a trend.
That's how Mark and Michael got their house.
Absolutely.
They bought it just looking at my
It's
neighborhood.
in my house in Hendersonville, sight unseen.
Yeah. Sometimes you get lucky, and other times you end up with a disaster.
With, just talking about the condemned, we had, and it happened here in town, the house was being condemned. The lady came from wherever she lived to pay the demolition people to take it down. And a prospective buyer walked in and offered her the same amount that she was about to pay the guy to tear it down for the house. And she took it and they presented their plans or whatever, and are bringing it back up to code and are revamping it and everything. So, there are sometimes when it does turn out pretty good, but it was the exact same, they had no idea that she was meeting with the demolition people that day. But that was the exact same day, and he walked in and said, we'll give you this for it. And she said, well, I was fixing to pay this guy this amount to take it down, and if you'll offer, you give me this, I'll take it, and let
She
you
was
deal with
lucky.
it.
Oh, that was
Yeah. Another thing that we talked about also this morning was sometimes I get complaints about individual purchasing, whether it's a commercial building or a house in the historical district or in some type of restricted covenant district. And a lot of times they'll say, oh, the realtor didn't tell me I was in a historical district. I was in a restricted covenant district. Had I have known that, I wouldn't have purchased a home. And a lot of things in the historical district, on the exterior of your home, you have to get permission prior to painting your home, taking down a tree, anything that's going to change the visual appearance of that structure or the yard. They have to actually be approved through the Board of Electric Review.
Just like our commercial buildings.
Yes, just like this building we're in right now. We're going to do some renovations on the outside, and the city has to get approved. So there's, and I'm hoping that, I know there are always two sides to a story. For the most part, just recently, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to try to stop. Okay. I had an individual that purchased, and I told the individuals here this morning this, purchased a property on Highway 301 North. And he said that he was told that the property could be used for residential. He says, oh good, I love this house. I want to use it residential for my family, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so he purchased the house. He came to the water department to turn the water on. usually whenever there's a new account, they will send him to code enforcement. And I asked him, what is he going to be doing? What type of business you going to be running in or conducting in this house? He says, oh, we're not conducting any business there. We're going to be living in it. I says, no. I says, that building is zoned commercial. It's for commercial use. There was a business there prior to. I said, did anyone tell you about that? He says, no. He said, they told me I can use it for residential. And now he had purchased this building, and the situations like that, my heart goes out to him, and I try to help him and actually carry him before different boards within the law. But there's sometimes you have spot zoning and you just can't rezone it. The other thing that he took all his life savings and purchased the building, the commercial building. And so he didn't have money, even if we were to rezone it, to renovate it back to residential. So he was just kind of, he walked away sad. So that's one reason I say a lot of times, and I know the public don't say that, and I say this because y'all are in the room, and perhaps y'all can kind of like, as you're talking to people on different occasions, if you could just let them know. Prior to them buying anything, buildings, whether it's a commercial building, a residential house, I just ask them to come up to the city hall and just ask some questions about it. And you can find out some things that you're unaware of, some things that are just not going to be revealed to you. Because I can tell many stories about many individuals that moved in the historical district wanting to replace windows, wanting to do a lot of things. They loved the house, they loved the commercial building, but they just did not know it was in a residential district, which has a whole lot of rules. And I call her my juice lady, and she knows about the rules.
And I live on my I get it both ways. I get it both ways.
It's the most important thing to anybody that comes to me and says, I want to do this, let's go see Benny.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I had a lot of information.
I email Benny all the time. Can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do this? No. Okay.
And if you're a banker doing a loan, or if you're anybody here that's working with somebody for whatever reason, just, this is a sad situation for this man, and I'd hate for something like that to happen down here in our buildings too. And a lot of people don't understand what they're getting into when they buy one of these buildings. Oh, we'll just do the inside, we'll rebuild it, and then all of a sudden we're stuck with nothing but a shell of a building, because maybe they couldn't get somebody that didn't understand what. We've got 2 buildings down here that were almost turnkey and ready to go, and just stopped because they didn't work the code enforcement. There's always 2 sides to stories, but basically what it boils down to, if you don't do what code says, you're not going to get your building open. And it's as simple as that.
And a lot of some of these rules are not just city ordinance rules. Most of them are state statutes, meaning that all the cities in the state of South Carolina are supposed to be following the same rules. So I know sometimes I get it and they say, oh, Dillon is the hardest place to do things. I can go to Hartsville, I can go to Florence. And a lot of those officials I know, I have them in my cell phone. And so what I start doing now while they're saying that, I said, hold that thought 1 second. And I go to my cell phone and I said, he said, what are you doing? I said, I'm calling the one in the city of Florence. Oh, no, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. I had that happen more than one time. And so everybody's supposed to follow the same rule. That's not to say everybody do. I try to, I've been here 30 years. And I'm not patting myself on the back or anything. I thank the good Lord for it. We had not one court case where the city of Dillon has lost. And I hope I didn't speak out of turn with that to the board. But I try to do everything, by the book. And there's some things that I learned that there's a lot of laws. One law might say, no, you can't do it. If you look farther along and you have knowledge of some of the other laws in that particular area, you'll find another law where it's a compromise order. You can't do this, but you can do this. And without just saying no. You know, and I try to look in the law and try to find other provisions that will allow you to do something similar to what you wanted to do at first, if you can't do it. That was the president. Well, let me quit. Let me quit. Thank you. Any other questions?
Good things are happening.
Thank you. I appreciate all of y'all too, and I hope I answer y'all questions. If not, and y'all know where I'm at. Just and Lisa's great. I tell Lisa that every day.
Ryan, and he always answers the phone if I call him, so if you have questions, just let me know, and I can always find out the answers for you. I'm not even gonna try to memorize those codes. I did read the whole book one time when I first started, a page every day.
How many commercial property owners are here that has property in? Okay, so we have
Either
3.
your business owners or building owners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Angie's got 1, so there's 6.
Good. Good. Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Benny.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
So, some of you may need to leave, I realize that, but,
But Nikki gave me a hard time.
chili cook-off is coming up. If anybody's interested in doing a booth,
Right here.
please let me know. All the information's in there. I've already given it to Deatrice. I've already told her it's been earmarked for her.
She's been marked down.
Okay, we are doing the event, St. Patrick's Day celebration on March 11th with the chili cook-off. I got the Jim Mack band coming. I got carnival rides, all kinds of things. It's going to be an amazing day. So if anybody's interested in that, please let me know. City of Dillon is part of Main Street, South Carolina. Main Street itself is a nationwide program with a very large umbrella, and we are Main Street, South Carolina. The association has different tiers based on your ability to participate in their program. We are at the $400 level. It's the lowest level. Glenn and I both agree that we're going to stay there for at least a couple, 3 more years until we build up our inventory downtown. Once buildings and businesses are brought to code and the businesses move in, we will gradually increase our level of association. It goes up to about $12,000, which is what the city of Florence is. What the money buys you is access to knowledge and help from professionals that are trained and educated on how to revitalize the downtown. We just don't have the inventory yet. It helps with marketing and a number of different activities and a fail-proof system on how to bring people into a downtown area like what we have in Main Street. Main Street, South Carolina, though, has joined forces with a group called Beyond Main, and they have brought out an e-commerce site that is basically relatively inexpensive. And Beyond Main, once again, is a national company, and they have brought it with the Municipal Association of South Carolina and Main Street, South Carolina, have brought it to be called We Shop South Carolina. We did a live video this morning with Kate and Jeremy. Jeremy's they're kind of the owners and the creators of this particular program or e-commerce site. And I've got the video for us to watch. I decided today, while we were talking to them, that the city of Dillon is going to do the first site down here. I've got an intern starting next week. And that'll be her first job, is to get this going. It doesn't have to be for a shirt or a pair of shoes. It can be for a service also. It could be for flowers. It could be for insurance. It could be for jewelry. It could be for, life insurance. It could be for, what you're going to be bringing down here to us. So it's not just for a pair of earrings. It can be for services also. City of Dillon will do it as more of an informational site, and we'll highlight a business once a month and show some items that they can buy, and then we'll direct them to you directly so they can shop. So it'll be a way for the businesses here to kind of see how the program works and if they really want to become a part of it. It's about $540 a year. That's actually a discounted price for us. But I'll put my events on there. I'll list all the businesses downtown, and then once a month, maybe the first month will be Angie's, and it'll be Valentine's Day. I just pull this out, and I'll show some things that you can purchase from them, and then they can go directly to her store. So I do want to play this. I know some of you may need to leave. It's about 20 minutes. I'm excited though that I've decided to do this firsthand, so you can kind of see how it works. And if you have any questions after you see this, I told Kate that I would find out directly from her, but the pamphlet that I've given you, I will email to everyone, because you can go onto their live links and you can see and explore the website, kind of like what they're going to show you. The tutorial that's on the back here, this is a rat card that they had. Their live, their live trainings aren't happening right now. This is when they first started it, but you can view the tutorials that are on here if you go to their website, which is what they trained us on when they first introduced the program to us. It is so easy to do. I'm kind of savvy, but I don't have a lot of patience or attention, and even I was able to work through it, and it was very easy to upload products that you were selling or services that you were providing. Very, very user-friendly. The City of Dillon gets absolutely no kickbacks on this whatsoever, okay? It's not like I'm selling this for any other reason besides it really could be a beneficial program for the City of Dillon to do. It doesn't have to be just Main Street also, it can be the entire city. It doesn't have to be right down here in our historic area. That's my daughter who you're talking to. Skiing just last week. Worked just fine before you got here.
Yep, it did.
I was here this morning, so I saw
Imagine
this.
that. There we go. It was just take a minute.
Probably hold on.
Who's that?
The mouse.
You got a mouse in there?
I really did try this with you guys. I'm sorry. It's because I'm tired and they're all day. I know this has been difficult because this has been difficult.
It could be.
It really always is. Just quit pushing buttons.
Dracula up in the ceiling.
She's doing great, thank you for asking. She went back to Lancaster today. They took in 4 tubes.
Okay.
She's amazing. A lot less crowded in terms of, a lot less crowded.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Now, I would like to say, a lot of you may not have capabilities in your office. You may be still writing things on paper for receipts. You may not have a whole PC system or a point of contact or POC system in your business. I would certainly be willing to come to you and help you set this up if you choose to do it yourself, or if you'd like some help doing it if it's something that you're interested in. You're not out there to watch the video just thrown to the wolves, so I would be able to, with the help of Kate, be able to get your business online with this program if you were interested in it.
Well, thank you, Lisa, for inviting us. I'm Kate Giovanni, the founder of Beyond Maine. Are we good on sound still? Yeah, okay. Ish. So I'm the founder of Beyond Maine. Beyond Maine is the technical partner that's working and collaborating with your Main Street, State Main Street Center, as well as the Municipal Association of South Carolina, They are investing in building a South Carolina online marketplace to give a digital home to small businesses in the state, and also help capture kind of the affinity and love for visitors and residents of South Carolina to support small businesses and communities within the state. So our job is really to help make that capable on a technical level. So we've, for the past several years, been developing a proprietary platform that allows small businesses to easily get online, represent their business in a cohesive way, and help get connected with customers. It can also offer marketing expansive opportunities for the community through our commerce capabilities, our full e-commerce capabilities through our various level of subscription models, and then also gift carding capabilities for your entire community. So as businesses join the online We Shop market space, there's a gift card element that's runs adjacent to it and overlaps across everybody that's in the program. And then even as you boil down to the community level, there's a gift card there that can kind of work within your group or community of businesses that's specific to your location. And then as well as the store level. So if the store does not have a gift carding component, they now have a way to kind of sell gift cards and receive gift card purchases from residents or visitors. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Jeremy, and I'll let him kind of introduce himself and his role at Beyond Beam.
All right, thank you, Kate. Guys, great to be with you. My name is Jeremy Retta. I spent 20 years at Macy's, another 4 at Lid Sports Group. I started my own retail consultancy group. I saw the build firsthand, the billions of dollars that big companies have put into making online shopping the way we do business today. Unfortunately, for small towns and small business, that's led to a very wide gap. And so all the things I've seen in big business, now in partnering with Kate, we're able to bring to small business. So really the big stat that jumped out at me when I first started talking to Kate is 25% of online big business is done online. Walmart, Macy's, Amazon, all those guys. As you guys know, less than 1%, or even in the most, advanced cases, 1% of business is done online for small towns. And so this platform allows that to happen. But it has to be done easily because we have all different types of skill sets in small businesses and small towns. You have to make it easy to come up, and it has to fit in the P&L. We cannot make it too expensive. So we do not charge a percent of sales, and that is the game changer for us. We have a subscription model that goes from free listing, which is very exciting, right, to get up and going, all the way through the ability to take in-store gift card, as Kate said, and then full e-commerce. So that's kind of why we made the agreement with Jenny and the team at Municipal Association of South Carolina to say, hey, let's come in and build the framework, make it easy for all the business owners, all you guys, to come on board and then now have one place, We Shop SC, to market all the businesses, those small businesses in South Carolina. So now we're building the house. We're building a very, very large house with accommodations for 300,000 small businesses, right? Everybody's gonna get to come in, and then we can drive customers there. So instead of the disparate driving one-offs to each of your local businesses, we can use that as a marketing tool and an execution tool for buy online, pick up in store, curbside pickup, shipping, whatever you. Kate, did I do all right?
Yeah, you did great.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna share my screen for just a moment and kind of walk you through a couple of resources you're gonna get after the call to guide you in how you would set up your own free profile listing on the We Shop market page and join kind of early before the site launches. So right now what we're focused on doing is helping small businesses who are eager to join early on and be featured in that initial launch marketing campaign that Jenny and her team are going to be leading. For on onboarding everyone to our shared marketplace, which is beyondme.com. And when WeShop launches, you will be transferred over and be represented and featured on the WeShop SE landing site. So I'm going to show you a landing page that as you need to, you can come back. All right. We good, everybody? Can see my screen? Okay.
And just as a point, Kate, obviously, you'll move over when we launch WeShop SC, but you'll forever stay on Beyond Name, the national site as well. So you have that double exposure, no additional work, just magic.
Yeah, so a lot of marketing reach opportunity. Really excited because you guys are getting the first look at kind of the official branding of the WeShop SC site. So Jenny and her crew just recently gave us their branding marks. So these are kind of going to be your colors and your vibe and logoing that's going to be used. You'll start to see this circulated within the state and various marketing campaigns as we launch and get going. But if you have questions or even want to reference back to WeShop for more information, it's just WeShopFC.com is where you'll, kind of home base for now, where you can find out more information about the program and updates as it goes along. As a summary, this again is a digital Main Street that Municipal Association of South Carolina is investing in on behalf of its small businesses economic development. And so we're really looking to help them create that centralized e-community that also has commerce capabilities built into it, as the small business would like to unlock. So some of the features that you'll be able to see and benefit from by being a part of the program is obviously an online business profile that is accessible to customers 24/7. We have capabilities for you to showcase visually your business through various imagery, publicizing of menus, should you have like service or food-based business. You can promote events that you're running. You can list testimonials from your customers to help promote, the various services and level of customer experience that you offer. And you can also interact with customers. They can message you directly through your profile, and you'll access that through your backend dashboard. There's also marketing support that you'll receive. So our team provides a number of training tutorials, pre-made templates that you can use to help promote your page listing or your shop on Beyond Main. And those will continue to be grown and added to as WeShop and the state kicks off their own marketing campaign. So that's just going to continue to grow in terms of marketing opportunities. And then finally, this omni-channel commerce. Jeremy mentioned earlier, both he and I actually spent a number of years working for big brands and watching them invest in technology as an experience for their customer, as well as operational tools to better run their business and capture consumer interest in sales. And so we really want to bring that understanding and capabilities to every small business in a very affordable and scalable way. So the omni-channel commerce really pulls together all of those capabilities, such as managing your inventory, pulling together your customer database, running sales and promotions, offering various fulfillment methods like buy online, pick up in store, curbside, local delivery, as well as shipping capabilities. So you have kind of the full gamut to set up and automate for your business as you wish. And for your residents and visitors, it's a really accessible and easy place to not only market, but also allow them to search, discover, and connect and go through the full purchase journey. It's an easy way to gift South Carolina businesses and towns within the state through kind of one operational and efficient platform that everyone can be a part of. So there are several links as you go through the page on how you can join. When you do click join WeShop, it's going to bounce you over right now to our onboarding page for our free listing on Beyond Main, where we are accepting early subscribers and profile listing participants so that we can add you to the WeShop market. And I'll show you that in just a second. But as you scroll through the page, there's a number of places where you can easily connect and get your journey started. And just, as a reminder, these are the various organizations that are supporting the efforts. So again, Beyond Me, we are like the technical partners in helping you, but we're collaborating with Main Street Municipal Association to support communications, to support their marketing efforts, and also the capabilities of what the commerce platform will be able to do for you all. So who is We Shop for? Really, it's for anybody, any small business. So we see partners that are in the retail and the service and the food sectors. We feel like every business has an opportunity to leverage the platform in some way. Where we see the majority of our businesses right now joining, it's definitely in the retail and service space, but there's a place for everybody here. So regardless of store type or business type, we think there's a way for you to participate. And if you're struggling with how you do that for your business, you can always connect with us and we can have a quick consultation to help coach and guide you into how you can best represent your business on the platform. So these are our pricing plans. Again, we have the free plan, which allows you to do quite a bit of those capabilities I mentioned earlier. You can link an external website, you can get store insights, you can build your store profile, and you can be discoverable on both the We Shop Marketplace as well as Beyond Me National Marketplace. Our gift card only program allows you to sell gift cards for your business, so it sets up that payment gateway and that commerce capability. So you can sell your own branded gift cards as well as accept We Shop gift cards or community gift cards should one be set up. So you'd have full capabilities to accept customers who would present those to you for being
In store.
In store, yes.
In store, but not online because unless you go to the right-hand column. Sorry, go ahead.
Exactly. So our full store plan really unlocks those full e-commerce capabilities with unlimited listings, profile listings that people can purchase. There's additional features like scheduling appointments that is coming later this year. Pretty much anything you can think of on a standard marketplace experience is what you would be able to enjoy through the full commerce plan. That plan is $600 a year, and I have some great news for you all because you're part of a Main Street community. You get 10% off all of these commerce plans. So we have a secret code for you that you'll be given. So if you'd like to upgrade your account to any of these various commerce plans, you have a 10% discount for being a part of the Main Street program. That will be applied. And as you kind of dig in a little bit deeper, these are some of those capabilities on the commerce side that you now are able to enjoy. And the pictures to your left really just show, or to your right, show that this is the dashboard you would see, essentially. So when you log into Beyond Me, you can see it's very user-friendly. I'll give you a sneak peek in just a moment. But no heavy coding that you have to do. It's no code system, so you just have to kind of know where the various areas are of accessing information. Should you list services or goods, how you input those goods. It's just an easy kind of form. Very similar to selling things on third-party marketplaces. It's a simple system to use to actually have pretty complex functionality through a shop-based program. And then for visitors to We Shop, the experience we're really trying to create is being able to search and discover and connect with local businesses, whether they're nearby where they live or whether it's a place they'd like to visit or have visited in the past. Once they purchase with you, they are part of your customer base, right? So we hope that you're connecting and building that relationship. You have access to that customer. We are just kind of the mechanism to bring you two together. We don't get involved in the exchange or the sale, only if a customer reaches out to us and needs assistance with rectifying a question or an issue. We will try to service them the best we can in directing them to the business where that sale occurred. So we just kind of act as the mediator between customer and you to bring you guys together. so that you can do great things and surprise and delight them. And so Jenny is kind of the lead point person at your state Main Street level. And so if there's any additional questions, I'm sure you could roll them up through Lisa, but Jenny is kind of the person leading this initiative right now in the state. So if there's any feedback or questions you have about sort of the marketing side of things, feel free to kind of direct those to her for now. And any technical questions, you can obviously come and direct them to us. That's a quick overview of, take a quick pause.
This video that you've shown to everybody and the ones that come tonight as well. And I would like to say that I was in the original setup videos that they did, online tutorials, and it was so easy to go into this website because they kind of.
So, once again, I'm going to go ahead and purchase the $540 level. I'll let Dan know that tomorrow. I decided to do it today. Thank you. And with my intern coming on, this will be her first project. Thanks, whichever, she's really bright. So I'm hoping by the end of March to have that going. I just want to make sure I reiterate, it doesn't have to be for, a pair of earrings or a pair of shoes. It can be for a service that you provide, or even, a nonprofit that you have. You can certainly put out information on that as well. So it'll be fun for us to kind of see how this can work for us through when we get our page going with the city of Dillon. And like I said, I'll focus on one business every month, so we'll have to work together on that as well. As far as Christmas decorations go, I'll email it to you. You can pick out what you like. It's late. I really appreciate everyone being here. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns?
Thank you, Lisa.
Hey, my pleasure. I love that we come together. The morning meeting, is great, and the night meeting, so I'll keep doing both. Sorry about all the stuff. We had beats on the streets today. Somebody left a red jacket this morning. I don't know if it belongs to you, Cedric. It's on the table there.
Yeah, that's mine.
Okay, so I will be emailing all the stuff out. I'm at a training tomorrow, but Friday I will send this video to you, and then the original email that she sent me that is that on top. I actually have that, so you can click on the links and kind of explore it. It's so easy to use it. It doesn't even scare me or make me just want to just close my book and walk away from it. So I'm looking forward to that. Please get some more food if you like. I'm always going to try to feed you when you come. So I appreciate you being here, and have a wonderful evening. I want to make sure Parker has a little bit of mac and cheese to go. 'Cause I know she really